Welcome to the Beauty Growth Academy Unleashed podcast. You can join me here in the studio. I'm Alicia Hicklin and I am your podcast host. This podcast is going to give you all the advice you need to grow your beauty, hair or aesthetics business. We're not taught how to track our figures, be full-time content creators, find new clients and actually learn how to enjoy the journey. We're going to teach you how to do this and more. I hope you enjoy the show. Hi, Nikki.
Hello.
Welcome to the Beauty Growth Academy Unleashed podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I'm very excited to have you. This is going to be fun. I know that because me and you don't shut the fuck up talking. So we'll see how long we go. If this is going to be like 3 hours, maybe they should listen to it or watch it in 3 sittings. But no, we'll get into it. Thank you for coming and sharing your story. I think it's really important for people in the industry to hear other people's stories,
Absolutely.
the highs, the lows, the in-betweens and all that. And I know that you're going to come and give us the truth. That's for sure.
Of course.
So let's start with, how did you first get into the industry?
Well, it was kind of an accident, to be honest. I actually left school at like 13, 14.
Yeah,
I left school really early, no qualifications. And then I was actually a market trader. So I worked for my dad. I think I was working like £15 a day. At the start, but it was hard graft. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't getting back till 6, and I was just knackered. And so that gave me like a really good work ethic. So I always knew that I wanted to work, and I was always taught to work for yourself, sort of thing. So I knew that's kind of the path I wanted to go down, which didn't what I wanted to do. Then I was 17, got pregnant. Got sacked.
I did as well. This is like my story, literally.
Yeah, and then I thought, right, well, fuck him, I'll do it myself. So I started my own market stall, but it didn't go as well as I thought it was going to be.
What was you selling?
Well, I started with jewellery. Then I started designing like vintage and retro baby clothing. I actually won like a big event award and I got invited to the Houses of Parliament. I didn't even have a business, but I entered a competition pretending I did. And then I won 6 months worth of market space, and I had to buy the National Market Traders Federation, and I had to quickly build this business, find someone to make the clothing, design it and have it done within 2 weeks, and I did it.
So you smashed it. Whatever you put your mind to, you were smashing it.
So I did that, and then I don't even remember at that stage what happened. Then I had Emily, and I did that for years, and then I moved up to Newcastle from Middlesbrough. Yeah, and then I was unemployed for a little while, and I sort of didn't know what I was going to do. But I had a cleaning business, so yeah, bit of everything. And then I had someone come to my house and do my own hair extensions.
Right.
And it was absolutely shit. And she put it in, and there was no cutting, no blending. It was just like, I don't know, it was just all over, different shapes everywhere. And I said to her, like, are you not going to finish it off? And she said, oh, I don't do cutting. And I was like, what? She said, I don't cut it in or anything. I just install them. So I had this big, massive head of microbead hair extensions because, I mean, we're talking 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So, they were huge. And then I went to the hairdressers and they just cut it straight because hairdressers don't cut it the same as hair extensionists.
Yeah.
So then it was so bad. And then my husband actually trimmed it in with wallpaper scissors in the end. And it looked great, actually. But I just started going down a bit of a rabbit hole, and I was like researching it, curious, thinking, well, how is she just doing that?
How much did you pay her as well?
Oh, I think it was about 130 quid at the time.
Right,
And that's probably with the hair included, because it was back then. But yeah, I just started looking at different options, and I ended up, next thing, I'm on a 1-day course. And I went from there, really. And then, I mean, I just don't think a 1-day course is always enough. I think it's really good for building the foundations. And now I've got, obviously, the training academy. I make sure that my training is more than just that 1 day, because I didn't get any support or anything. Yeah. I was on my own. I didn't have anyone to ask questions to. I didn't have a clue. I made loads of mistakes. Needed as much. I did loads. I think I probably did about 40 heads before I felt comfortable knowing exactly what I was doing. You know, it is hard. And then, but once I put my energy into something, I'm like fully in. So I'm like, right, I can't quit, I can't fail. And I just went from there. So I had a home salon. I had a little salon room in my house until I fell pregnant again. And then we hit lockdown after that. I started just before lockdown, I'd moved on to mesh integration. I built up a really good reputation for being a hair extensionist, and people were coming into my house, and it was great for like 6 years. But then I started doing sort of hair loss systems, and then lockdown hit, and I used that time as an advantage for me.
Yeah.
So I took that opportunity. I became an educator. I really went over and over again doing mesh integration, hair loss systems. Like I just practiced and practiced on my doll's head because we had nothing else to do anyway. And I researched it, so I was really ready. And then just at the end of lockdown, I got a phone call to say, I'm moving out of my salon, so do you want to take it over? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because 3 years, she was on a 3-year lease, and 3 years before that I drove past it. It was like not far from my house, and I'd said, oh, that would be, little salon would be perfect for me. And then that's the actual salon that I'm in now. So that's how I got to where I am.
Love it. And now you've got a salon and you've got staff, haven't you? Tell us about your setup and how things are now.
At the moment I have myself. I do hair extensions, hair loss systems, and hair extension training, hair loss training and stuff. And then I've got a hair extensionist who just solely focuses on hair extensions and the odd blow dry and things. And then I've got my daughter who works with me, and she does lashes, brows, facials, spray tans. Wow. So they're just a small team, but it really works for me because we only work part-time as well at the moment. It's only a small salon, but we kind of work well around each other as well. So me and my extensionist usually work in the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Emily does her facials and stuff when there's no one in. It's really relaxing and lovely. So it just works really, really well. And, you know, I'm always about really friendly, nice atmosphere. So it's great to have such a nice small team sometimes. You don't need... I've never needed, like, loads and loads of staff. It's just not something I ever wanted to do. It's more stress if you go too far, I think. I think my focus is elsewhere. And so, yeah, I've got the 3 of us at the moment. I mean, I am probably going to get more and expand a little bit, but...
Yeah, you want to keep it small. Yeah. And that's the thing, you've got to do what's right for you. Some people want to just work on their own. Some people want to have small teams. Some people want massive teams and multiple salons, and everybody's just got to follow their own thing. And I think as well, you said about you work part-time. I think what a lot of people don't understand about this industry is you can work part-time and still earn the same amount of money as what you would if you was working full-time in a general job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I work part-time in the salon, but the rest of the time I'm at home working. I mean, I put everything into my business. I'm morning till night. I'm just because I love it. It's my hobby as well. Like, I actually love it. So I do put everything into it. And then when I'm at home, I have sort of my, that's when I do the hair extension coach, which is like my training academy. That's when I spend that time doing that. And I'm always voice noting. Constantly. I can talk a lot. So I'm always at home doing a voice note, putting the chicken nuggets in, you know. Yeah. So I get to do that around it. So it just really works for me. And I used to work all day in the salon, but now I just don't need to. I mean all week in the salon, sorry, but now I just don't need to really be there all the time. I make more now than I ever did before, but I work less hours.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's about though, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So what made you want to start coaching and like helping hair extensionists and training them and stuff? Was it your experience?
Yeah, mainly a lot to do with my experience, but also I just love helping people. I love people succeeding. I came from having no money at all and having nothing and having people saying that I wasn't going to be anyone or do anything, and that's kind of what I felt people thought. And then when I moved to Newcastle, I moved here because not here in Leeds, but I moved to Newcastle because it was going to open up more opportunities for me. So I knew that I needed to do something big, and when I had the salon, it's amazing and I love the salon, but I just felt there was more in me. I've got more to give, and I wanted to sort of show people that they can also like be successful from having nothing. So I teach complete beginners now from having no experiences, people who want to change the job and the careers. I'm really focusing on that because I know for a fact that I can help them, like, the stepping stones to change in their life from having nothing and being in a shit job that they don't like or not having the freedom or whatever, to being where I am, which is successful. I've got financial freedom. I can choose my own hours. Like, I'm so happy that I can do all them things. And I know for a fact I'm able to, you know, help other people do that. And then I get a little bit of a, I don't know, proud moment, a bit of a little buzz myself when I see other people's success. I don't know, it makes me feel even better about me. I don't know if it seems a bit of a selfish reason, but I do. It's like job satisfaction. I'm like, I did that, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Do you think your dad was a big part of why you have gone down the self-employed route? Because you said that he was a market trader.
Yeah, he was always a market trader. Yeah, he was always a market trader, and he did really well. He was on the markets for years, and then he doesn't do it now. He's retired now. But he worked hard. It was hard graft on the markets. And it's just something I always want to do. Plus, I don't really do well with authority. Yep. So that's probably one of the reasons I left school. I just don't think I could work for anyone else. And I did try, and it just wasn't right for me. And working for someone else is sometimes for some people easier because it's less stress, and they can go to work, do the job, and go home.
Yeah, and shut off.
It's not enough for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to shut off. Like I like to keep busy, and I like to be constantly challenged, and I'm like a glutton for punishment. Like I'm always I like the challenge of being self-employed, so I think doing it for me, it makes me work harder.
Yeah,
you know, because if I was working for someone else, I'm not sure how much I'd be able to put into it.
I think as well though, you're passionate about what you do now, whereas when you're working for someone else, it depends on your job. Some people work for other people and they love it. They love to be able to go on annual leave for 2 weeks and not worry about anything, and they love the jobs. But I think when you're like us, I'm not very good with authority either. I think when you find something that you love, you're willing to do whatever you need to do. You're willing. We work more being self-employed than what we would do being employed. Okay. Some people can say, well, you only do 3 days a week in the salon or whatever. But what they don't understand is from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep, you are thinking about your business. Yeah. The weekends, on a Saturday, if I've got a few hours in the afternoon, I will happily log into a course.
Now we all have to
do it.
Now we all have to be content creators as well. So even when you're out, I've got to get this picture of this cup of coffee, or
you're just on it all the time.
That hair, or it's non-stop.
It is. You know, you mentioned that your daughter works with you in the salon. How does that go down? Because I have a nearly 16-year-old daughter. Your daughter's 18, isn't she? And how does that go down?
Well, we have our moments.
Yeah.
But do you know, she's a really smart girl. She's very business minded as well, because she's been brought up with me, and I am like full on. I work all the time. I talk about work all the time. It's just everything for me, and I love it. So she kind of has been around it. When I'm doing my training courses, or when I'm like doing any coaching or anything like that, she's there with me. So she's heard about it. She has to sit and listen to me talk about it. So she's kind of already in that kind of mindset. She sees successful people. She knows how to succeed, and she wants that as well. So it works for her. I mean, she's got that kind of, I can't think of what the word is. She's got that kind of morals, that kind of
that drive.
Yeah, that drive. So I knew that she'd do something good. So when we're in the salon, she's trying to do her thing and I'm trying to do mine. So it kind of works because we're both helping out each other, and it's nice to have someone there who I trust and who knows what my standard is, because my standard, especially in the salon, over everything I do, I've got a very, very high standard for everything. I'm a little bit of a I'm very particular about the way I like to do things, but that's what makes me money, that's what brings the customers back, and that's what makes people feel happy when they leave. So I think I've got such a high standard, but she knows that. And she understands why and the benefits. So she also talks like me. So when people come in, she knows how to greet them. She knows how to speak. It is kind of like a little mirror of me. But I mean, we do have our moments. She cringes at everything I say.
Yeah,
I can feel the cringing. Every time I say something, I think she's going to hate that I've just said that out loud, because obviously I'm a talker and I'm a bit of a joker. And God knows what anyone would think if they heard some of the stories me and my clients talk about. And my 18-year-old daughter's like, oh, give me strength.
Yeah, but you're a young mum as well, aren't you? So she's just going to have to get over it. I like to think I'm pretty
cool, but I don't think she will.
No, I don't think they think that, do they?
We have a couple of whisper arguments in the back.
Do you actually sweep that floor up?
But yeah, no, I like it. I think it's great. But I mean, I don't know how I'd feel about working with any of my other family members.
Yeah.
But with Emily, it works well because I know that she's got that sort of that passion, that drive. She wants to do well as well, and she's got the same sort of I can't think of that bloody word. It'll come back to me.
Similarities in personality, I suppose, but that was probably not the word you was looking for, but you know.
It'll come back to me.
What I just do is swallow dictionary. So, you know, being a hair extensionist, I've worked and coached lots of hair extensionists. Now, one of the things that I see often and I hear them say often is, because it's not a treatment that someone would have every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks, it's difficult to build a client base up. Yeah. How did you go about building up your client base to make this into, I know you said you do part-time, but obviously you're still doing 3 days a week, doing clients or whatever it is. How do you go about building a client base up in a treatment that's so far in between?
So it's like 6 to 8 weeks. So I think...
Is that all it is, 6 to 8 weeks?
Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks now. Like, that's what I would recommend.
Or if I was doing hair...
don't be going 12 weeks. I'm not listening to that.
It's £400 a time.
Yeah, I'm not listening to that. I won't. I'll tell you off afterwards.
Okay.
No, but I mean, it was hard, don't get me wrong. I went through, when I was first started, I think a year in, I was only making like £350 a month, and it wasn't enough, but I was still invested in my training and educating. Some people think that you can just start, and I mean, if I did my own training course and if I'd have done your training and I knew all this beforehand, then it would have been totally different. But back then there wasn't as much. But now people can get all that information that how to work. I think social media can really work for you. You have to show up, like you said. You have to show your face. You have to create trust. I think for me, being organised and knowing what my targets were each month drove me, because if I had a target of like, let's say £500, if I got to 400, I'd be like, right, what can I do?
Need to do?
And I think that helps as well. So always setting my targets. But for me, it's like building that creating that trust with the customers, and then they're going to refer you to other people, repeat custom. I wasn't big on offers, to be honest. I didn't really want to do offers because I think a couple of offers now and again, but I'm not big on one that's going to like totally cut my prices to do it, because I'd rather not go to work for that. You know, I think once you start low, you carry on low. So if I was starting now, I'd probably set a price list, and then when I was doing my introductory prices, maybe say 50% off the first so many, rather than doing, you know, starting off at £200 and then increasing. I think that's one of the things that I see a lot of my students doing, that I'll try and encourage them not to do. But again, I think social media is so huge. We can really use it to our advantage now to build your client base. But customer service for me.
Is that what you think is the key thing? It's customer service.
Yeah, a lot of my clients are come back through referrals, because I know how to treat them, and I'm all about the experience and what they're going to feel like when they're walking out. And I also, if there's any problems, they come straight back to me. I'm open, and we're also like quite a friendly vibe in the salon. So I think you've got to bring the energy, and you've got to create an atmosphere. They're not just paying for what they get; they're paying for how they feel when they come to the salon, and they're paying for like the whole experience every time, because they could go to someone else down the road. I mean, they probably wouldn't do it as good as I would, but
I love the confidence.
But yeah, I think, and just keep investing, keep educating all the time. You've got to upskill all the time, and then you've got to be the first to offer the new stuff. So keeping an eye out of what's coming up. If you can hit it when it's just when something new is coming out, that can help you fly. Because there's so many things that are changing all the time, and so many new methods and ways to do things.
Yeah. You obviously joined the Beauty Growth Academy, didn't you? And obviously went in and did the training and stuff like that. What was there anything in particular that really changed the path for you or the course for you with your salon? Or
I think, again, knowing my numbers.
Yeah. I know you was really big on that, weren't you? You went in and was like, if I see this many clients this month, this is how much money I'm going to earn. This is what I've got in the diary. This is what I need to get. And I mean, it really is proof, like you're a very strategic thinker.
Yeah.
So you're like, give me a process, give me a figure, and I'm going to make it work.
Definitely.
But if you've not got that figure, you find it hard to do it.
And my favourite thing to do is my monthly business meeting.
God, I'm glad.
So at the end of a month, or at the beginning of the next month, I love it. I just go out somewhere. I sometimes do like a co-work. I've got a little office in the salon and at home, but it's boring there. So I treat myself. I get a nice coffee. I even go to Costa sometimes, and I sit and do all my numbers. And now Emily comes with me as well and does hair.
God.
We've got like a KPI spreadsheet, and we're like, right, this is how much we made this month. This is how many of this treatment. And I'm like, right, what made the most? What do you need to push next month? Which is your favourite treatment? So that's obviously the best one, you know. So that one, it did shit, get rid of it, don't offer it no more. I'm like very, and I look at it again every couple of months, and I'm like, if something's not working, then I stop it, and you know, I either redo it or I get rid of it.
And was it in the Beauty Growth Academy where you started to track the numbers and learn about what KPIs were and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I already had little bits of ideas, and I'm a spreadsheet girl anyway.
Good.
So I had the basic spreadsheets, but I think it was more of tracking the services and stuff. So knowing how many services of that I've done, knowing what's the best service and what isn't. I think at the same time as I was doing the beauty growth, when I first started, I mean, we're talking 3 or 4 years ago now. When I first started doing that, that's when I was at the stage where I had numbers to track, you know, so it was more fun. But yeah, I think that really changed it for me, knowing having a plan to do that every month, because I was doing it, adding them in now and again, but now having my monthly meeting and having that spreadsheet, it's just amazing.
I love that you're teaching your daughter that as well, because that's so powerful to learn at 18. Like, I actually had someone in the group comment last week, I think it was, and she said, like, I've been self-employed for 15 years and I have never done my monthly numbers until this month, and I can't tell.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and she was like, I can't tell you how, what did you say, empowering it feels. And I'm like, but people do. And for her to be coming into the industry, it's like 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
And then to be learning all these things, like, she's going to be a weapon.
Yeah.
You know
well, we had an open day, because she's done 3 years in business college as well. She's really good at, she's always wanted to do things like be ahead. And we actually took her out of high school a year early and sent her straight to college to her business studies. So she did 3 years in business studies, and then she left like last month. So she's gone full time, like in her own business now. And so 2 weeks ago we had an open day to sort of celebrate that and to get people in and so they could try the treatments and introduce them to it. She's been doing it a year, but not like full time, you know, she hasn't gone all in. So we had that, and then last week she was like fully booked.
Wow.
And she was, I mean, she could, a lot of the time she's restricted to the facials from when we're not in the salon, because I'm loud and we're loud.
we do. So, what do you mean? What are you on about?
But she does all other services and that when we're there as well. But for her to be like, oh my God, I've got this many clients in this week. Amazing. And I was like, it's like week one basically.
Yeah, I hope you've got her on a percentage basis. We're going to teach you. We're going to milk it off.
At the minute. She'll be paying the bloody lot for me soon. She'll be ahead of me.
So you said that your life has changed a lot since attending one of the live events that we did for the Beauty Growth Academy. Can you remember what it was that kind of...
Was it the Victoria one? Like
yes.
Oh my
Victoria
God.
was here this morning as well,
no,
you know.
I can't believe I've missed her. Damn it.
What was it? Did something like kind of trigger inside of you? Was a penny drop moment?
Yeah, well, I have loads of penny drop moments. That's when I get all my penny drop moments, and I use the live events to get me clarity, to make me clear on where I am, what I need to do next, and like sort my mindset out and be like, right, I need to, I've got a little bit like misery guts, or I've got a little bit like stress head, I need to regroup. And that's kind of my time to regroup, because then I hear what everyone's got to say, and obviously all the speakers are all kind of mindset speakers as well, which is great, because it's good for me to do that. And then on the Victoria one, I think it was, I've got a couple of little stories, but on the Victoria one, I remember we did a visualisation, a guided visualisation, and I could visualise myself in my house, my new house. Well, it's my new house now, but it wasn't then.
Oh,
and I could see me in the garden, and we had the pool out, and the kids were in and out of the pool and stuff, because we lived in an apartment before and we didn't have for 10 years, and it was gorgeous, but it had no garden. So that was my next step up. So then now I'm in my new house, and the garden's pretty similar, like very, very similar to what I was in, and then what was in my visualization. And then I think it was that one where I made my vision board. Yeah, I think it was that one when I made my vision board, and I wanted to get Emily through her driving lessons, I wanted to get Emily a car, and I wanted to get me a car as well, a new car. And on her 17th birthday I bought her a car, and then the same year, like 2 months later, I bought myself a new car. And when we looked back on my vision board, it's like a big pin board in my bedroom, but you know when it's there sometimes, you don't see it all the time. And when I was like, because I change it around now and again, and when I looked, I'd bought the exact cars that were on the vision board for both of us as well, and it was genuinely an accident. Like, I obviously knew subconsciously, because I'd seen it so many times, it was in my brain, and when they've come up, I've been like, that's what I want, this is what I'm going to do to get it. But I had exactly the same cars as the one on the pictures, and I think I put that in the group as well. And I was like, oh my God, can you believe I've accidentally bought the cars that had manifested on my vision board? Because once it's in your brain, you're obviously thinking of it, and I work towards it more. So yeah, that's definitely changed my life in that way as well.
Did you know much about manifesting before you came to any of the events or the Beauty Growth Academy? So that was
really.
The first thing?
Yeah, not really. I knew little bits, but I don't know, I didn't think it was... I didn't sort of get I understand what it was all about. And, you know, everyone kind of goes, oh, it's all that woo-woo shit and that. But it's like, well, it's powerful woo-woo shit though, isn't it? You know, it works for me, so I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, for you to put 2 cars on your vision board and then buy them exact cars.
I know. I think I am one of these people, like, once I've got something in my head, I have to do it anyway. So no matter what I visualise, I'm going to do it. Every single thing on my vision board, I do a vision board after every event as well. So every single thing on my vision board, I've got it. There's not one thing that I haven't done yet. on any of my vision boards, and this year's going to be big. So.
I'm not surprised either, because you're a very powerful person and you've got a powerful energy, but you're also willing to do the work.
Yeah.
You're not scared, are you?
No.
Like, you're not scared of hard work. So you'll say, like, this is what I want. What do I need to do to get that?
Yeah.
And you'll do your manifesting and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But obviously you'll also be like, strategic brain on like, what do I need to do?
Even when I don't want to do it, I still do it, because I'm not allowed to not, like, it's like something. There's been times over the years when I was, obviously I've been doing the educating for 4.5 years, 5 years now. I don't even know how long it is.
Something like that. I know, I forgot how long I've been in the industry.
I used to have the numbers for that, but now it doesn't seem important anymore.
Yeah.
But over that time, I have thought a few times about throwing in the towel, and I was like, no, I can't. I've got to keep going. And now I'm glad I did. I'm glad I kept going, because now I'm at a stage where it's really, really working. But a couple of years ago, I was like, God, there's something not clicking in. Is it too much? I've spent months doing this and it's not working. And I think sometimes it's easy to think, right, do you know what? Okay, I just won't do it anymore. Yeah. But there's just something inside me that doesn't allow me, even when I want to. And I like have a good cry about it. And then I'll be the next day. Do you know what it is for me? If I have a big cry or a big moan about something, I'll go to bed and write huff, and then the next day I'm like, right, I know what to do now.
Yeah, it's almost like you release and then it comes clear.
And that's when the power comes. That's when I'm like, I know what I need to do here. No one's going to get me down. So I love that. I just go for it.
So a lot of people listening to this or watching this will be finding it hard to juggle between that business and life. How do you make time for everything? So you've got an 18-year-old and a 6-year-old, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
You've got a husband.
Yep.
You've got a salon.
Yep.
How do you have that balance between life and home?
I mean, at the beginning it was hard, and I didn't have that. That's something that I've probably learned over the last few years as well. Putting in place the work-life balance and being able to work certain days a week, which I couldn't do before, because when you first start and you kind of slot people in whenever, which is fine. And if you've got that time to do that, let's do it. You have to work up to just doing so many days sometimes, and being, because I only work during school hours as well. So it's quite hard to get people that one. And if it's not suitable for them, then unfortunately they have to find someone else that is. But I can do that now, but at the beginning I had to. Sorry, I've trailed off again.
No, you haven't. No, because I think it's important.
But the work-life balance.
Yeah, the work-life balance. But every successful beauty business owner, aesthetic hair business owner that I have interviewed and spoken with have all got one thing in common, and that is they didn't have the balance in the beginning because they worked their fucking arses off.
Yeah. So I think finding that is like was one of the best things, to be able to do that. But I also have a work phone and a personal phone. That was a big deal when I finally got a work phone and being able to switch off, because if I was getting messages on a night, I'd feel anxious about it. I mean, now I've seen a message and I'm not that anxious, because I know no matter what I'm going to be fine with it. But at the beginning, if I've seen a message, I'd be like, oh my God, does she not like her hair? Why does she want to come back? And it's usually like they're coming back to buy shampoo or get a blow dry or something. But if I've seen the name pop up, I'm like, oh my God,
anxious.
Yeah, and it would just set me off. Or if I had something to deal with, I'd be like, oh God, I need to do this tomorrow. This is what I need to do. Because if I seen a message, it'd remind me about work. Whereas now, I leave my work phone downstairs and I've got do not disturb on all my phones, to be honest. But I try and not look at it until the next day. And then I don't actually think about it. I'm allowed to switch off. I allow myself to switch off now. Whereas before, I didn't know how. But now if I don't switch off, then I'm no good to anyone, because I'm like, going. I get stressed out easily. I've always been a bit of a hothead. So knowing now that I need to switch off, it gives me that work-life balance, and it's better for the kids. But because I do the hair extension coach from home, it is a lot easier for me, because I can, like I said, make my little boy some dinner, play a game with him, then do that work in the right times when I feel like it, because I've got the choice to be able to do that. Another thing that I do actually for my work-life balance is every 2 months or so I go on work on holiday. So I book holidays, and everyone says to me, why do you work on holidays? And I'm like, I can only go on holidays because I'm going to work. So I go on holiday, I take my laptop. See, my family are all miserable bastards on a morning, and I mean it, like so grumpy, and I'm like, wake up and I'm like, good morning everyone, it's like it's 6 a.m, what, we're gonna have a breakfast? I'm like all for that, but they're not. So I get up at like 6, I go down to the restaurant area or wherever I am and get my coffee, and I sit there until about 10 o'clock and do loads of work. And then I batch create content, I plan what I'm going to do when I go home, I find out what my focus is going to be in my business for the next couple of months, and then I've got that clear plan again, and I focus again, and I've got loads of ideas, loads of content, and it really, to be honest, I can honestly say now, when I go on holiday, like I went to Thailand for 4 weeks for Christmas and I worked while I was there, but the work that I put in Thailand, by the time I'd got home, had paid for Thailand.
Yeah.
You know, so it's worth it for me, and my head's so clear. I come up with ideas, and then when I get home, my colleague who I work with, I walk in and she's like, oh God, she's been all day, she's coming in with a list, and I'm like, right, this needs changing, this needs changing, this needs changing.
Carissa will be laughing because that is
she's on holiday and she's FaceTiming me and like, how many beads are left? What colour beads do we need to order? And I'm like, just have a holiday, but I can't. I like to be busy, but that work-life balance is great because then I get to do my work for 4 hours and then we sit in the pool with the kids on the afternoon. So I think I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that now.
Yeah, but it's not always been that way.
No,
and that's
it's not always
fine,
been that way. But even if I wasn't fortunate enough to book a holiday, I think taking time out is important as well, because if you're just constantly stressing about the business, what's the point in working all the time if you've not got that time to spend with your family and enjoy with your kids? You know, I think you need to have that work-life balance to be able to be a successful... what's that from that book? How many millionaires do you know that work 24/7? Like, they don't. They're usually working from abroad or, you know, at the golf course.
I love that. It's great advice. Did you ever used to feel guilty about taking a day off work?
Yeah. And I'd be thinking, I could be earning. Yeah, and do you know what else? If I was ill, I'd stress. I'd be like, them clients need me. Like,
they're never going to come back.
They're never going to come back. I'm going to lose them. But actually, they're all right. Because I think if someone messaged me and said to me, I really can't do your hair, I'm really ill. And I'd be like, oh yeah, that is shit. But also, okay then.
Yeah, it's fine.
You
it's
know,
not a biggie,
I think we overthink it. We do overthink it. And I also feel guilty when I've got staff working in the salon and I'm going home or I'm on holiday. I still feel guilty now because I think, oh God, I feel like a bit dodgy that they're having to do all the work and I'm on holiday. But when I'm in there on my own, I quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, so we sometimes overthink.
We do. And we have to remember we're all on different paths.
Yeah,
everyone's on different
absolutely.
paths. Because I can leave my office at 2:00 one day and the team is still in, and it is a bit like, oh, but then
and
you
the
think...
next day you're in for 5 a.m.
Yeah, or the next day I'm up and I'm working at 3 a.m. because I've got bloody insomnia. But everyone's on different paths and it's okay, you know. Everyone
absolutely.
And everyone's got a choice. No one's chained to the salon.
No.
Do you know what I mean? No one's chained to the office chair. It's like everyone's got their own freedom. So since starting your business then, what have been some of the biggest challenges that you've faced? Because now it sounds great, right? Like, we've got a nice balance, you're able to go on holiday, you're having more freedom, you're on it, you're believing in yourself, that confidence is there. Let's talk about some of the times where it weren't like that.
So I think I'd say don't be afraid to change as you evolve. So like I said earlier on, I felt like things weren't right and I needed to change it so many times. So when I started my business, it was great because it was a beginner. Then a few months later, I was a little bit better than I was then. So I changed it again and changed it again. With my hair extension coach, I must have rebranded like 4 times. Now it's amazing. And I'm so excited. I've got like a new relaunch coming out and I know exactly what I want. I know who I'm talking to. I know who I can help because I've upskilled so much now. But at the beginning, I was a different brand to what I am launching now. And I think and I'm the same with the salon as well. I decorate quite a lot and I change things quite a lot. Don't be afraid to keep changing it because I think that does become a challenge when you're sort of stuck and you don't know your next direction. I think I sort of kept thinking, if I change things, this won't work. But in the end, it did. I get like anxiety of sometimes like change, but I just do it anyway because I know that it's right. I think I stopped. It definitely held me back because I was too scared to change things. But now I think I would make the changes that I need to. I was always like, if I was going to do when I was wanting to do the hair loss like years ago, it's such a big thing. What if I can't do it? It's like a bit of self-doubt, isn't it? I think having the fuck fear attitude and just doing it anyway is something that you need to have in this kind of industry. But also staff was a big challenge for me as well. It's always been a big challenge. I think it is for everyone. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, but, it can be.
I'd say that was probably one of my biggest challenges.
And what was it about staff that you found challenging?
At the beginning when I didn't know what I was doing. So when you're first an employer, you don't have a clue. Well, I didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
I looked at it. I looked at the government website. I did all the right things. And I was still a bit like, I still don't have a clue. So I did get advice from people in the group and other people that I know, and I got some help, but it still wasn't easy. I went through like a few different members of staff to get the right one, I've got like a strategic plan in place. So I know exactly, me, I've always got a plan. I think now I would change that because I've made like a Trello board, and I've got one list for the interview process, one list for the trial and the probationary period, and one list for the employed. So I know now everything I do has to have a step-by-step plan. So I would say to anyone who's facing challenges or anything like that, to make sure you just write it down and have a step-by-step plan. If you know what you're going to do next, then it just takes that pressure and that stress away, because otherwise you overthink it in your head and it goes round and round. So to get over my staffing panic, nerves, whatever it was, I created these lists. So now I've got like a multi-step interview process, which I do. And I am very fussy as well, so it's even harder for me to get stuff.
Yeah, but you've got high standards.
I have got very high standards, so it does make it a little bit more difficult, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, now I go through my list. So on my list, I've got things like contracts, when the contract needs signing. I've got the interview process, what questions I'm going to be asked, what do I need, what am I expecting from them, how long the trial will be, everything's there. And then I go to the probationary period. I've got have they read the Steph handbook? Like simple things like, did they watch the training video? Have they done training? And then I retrain everyone again. And then I've got the next one, which is employed, send details to accountant for PAYE. And, like every single thing is now on a list. So now it's easy.
Did you go into Success Get 8 and learn from that?
Recently, I've revisited that.
Because there's all that in there.
Yeah, I think that was put in recently as well.
Yeah, it were,
So that's all in there now. Yeah, but
okay,
I don't know if I've seen the Trello list.
No, I didn't do a Trello list. No, but I did do a Trello board in one of the trainings in the Plan Your Projects. But I'm glad that you're using Trello.
Yeah, I love Trello.
I love Trello.
Absolutely love anything to do with Trello.
Yeah.
I've got like a few different Trellos.
For your brain, it's the perfect tool, isn't it?
But now I've got loads.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
absolutely. I've got them for Christmas lists. I've got them for Emily. I've got them for my husband's business.
It works.
Everything.
It works. I love that. Have you ever had any like challenges when it comes to clients, like awkward clients or?
Oh, I don't know if I can say that on here.
Let's go.
I'm only joking. Oh, God. Not that I can think of. I've fixed quite a lot of disasters, to be honest, from
other
some people have been over in Turkey and stuff and had hair extensions, and I've had to cut out glue. I've had to cut people's hair out.
People go to Turkey for hair extensions?
Well, apparently so, yeah.
I just go for surgery.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but definitely don't go for hair extensions.
Well,
that's
okay.
for sure.
I'll take that on board.
I've seen disasters, but I mean, I do hair loss as well, so it's actually all right because I cut the hair out and then I just fix them again. So yeah, I'm a
hairy godmother. Hairy godmother.
I love that. I get laser, so I'm not that hairy.
Okay, yeah, me too. Well, I need to do some actually. It's been a while.
I love laser actually.
Yeah, laser's great.
I seen one of your posts. Was it yesterday? I think for Tara.
Yeah, when she went for laser hair removal with a hairy fanny. Can you imagine when they give her a bic to shave dry in the sink? Oh, no thanks. Well, I actually have this deal with Tara. So Tara just has her aesthetics done whenever she wants Botox or whatever, and I just use her laser machine when I want. So I actually,
that works.
I do my own laser because I'm a pussy, and I cry when anyone hurts me.
Oh, I do.
Punch me in the face, but don't wax my tash. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can take pain, but I can't take niggles. So whenever she was doing my laser, I'm like, and I can't sit still. And it's the funniest thing. She's like, you can just do your own now. So she's taught me how to do it. So I definitely.
When I first went in, I was like, oh God, what's going to happen? I was quite embarrassed, and she's just like, open your leg, put your leg on the wall. And she's like slapping the gel on, and I'm like, oh my God.
I'm not bothered about that, but it's like when it twangs.
Yeah. Ooh.
And then I let Tara, this staff member once. She was lovely, bless her. She was quite new. She lasered me and flipping got the beam on my tattoo on my leg. Never felt pain. I'm like, get off of me.
Ouch.
Give me that machine. I'm doing it myself. Inside the Beauty Growth Academy Members Club, we love to share our wins, and I love to see your wins, Nikki.
I love celebrating my wins.
I love seeing wins. It's my favourite thing in the world. Will you share with us some of your wins that you've had so far in your career and personal life?
Well, the cars are a big one. So being able to put Emily through a driving lessons from 17 to 18 and paying for all that, and then having a car for her ready and buying my own car as well. So I was able to buy them without any finance or anything like that. So that was a really big win for me. Being an international educator, which is something that I never thought I could say. I actually have students from Canada, Australia, Belgium, France. I couldn't believe it when I didn't even notice at first. And then I was looking at where different people were from, and I'm like, wow. So I started like talking to them. And yeah, I've got, and now I sort of advertise that, so I get even more people from different countries. I never thought I'd be able to teach people in different countries as well as all over the UK. I think it's amazing. Hair Extension Coach Academy is definitely one of my biggest achievements because I just love it. Obviously the salon as well. I love my salon, but for me, that's being who I am and being known and having that reputation. That's a massive win. But I think wins for me are small ones, like financial goals. I've hit quite a good few financial goals this year, like financial month goals, which is amazing. But I think it's the small stuff. Sort of when I first started doing hair extensions, I got WASDA and I'd have to count what I was buying. You know, I'd have to be like, oh, like this is how much for this is how much. And now I'm in there, I'm like, that'll do, chuck that in. And now I just don't even have to think about it. So finding financial freedom is a big one, and being able to go on holiday when I want, and all the little things, like just being able to have time off and just be like, right, I'm checking out here. You know, being able to do that, them little wins are the big ones for me. You know, helping my family whenever I can. You know, I just love them so much, and being able to give the kids what I want, all them little things. I think it's those things that matter for me. So they're the biggest wins. But,
I agree. It's going out with your family and paying for the meal that was 150 quid without being like, oh, that was 150 quid. Yeah. It's being able to, when your daughter's like, oh, I broke my school shoes, it's like, not a biggie, just order some online. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, it's the little things that are the big wins. That I absolutely agree. And the big turnover months and the big success, that they are all amazing. But actually, for me, it's the small stuff.
Yeah, it is for me.
Yeah. It's been able to go to the petrol station. I just put 3 quid in my car. Like, I literally used to have to put 3 quid in minimum amount.
You're right, yeah.
And then now I just I look away, and when it clicks, I'm done.
Yeah,
and I don't.
Do you know what? We just done that yesterday, and he said, how much shall I put in? I was like, I don't know, just put it until it's full. And he was like, how much is it? And I said, I don't even know. Yeah. I don't even know how much, because I just fill it up and pay whatever they say.
Yeah, and it's like when all that drama was going off with like the fuel prices raising and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, how much is fuel? And they're like, this much. I'm like, well, I don't know how much, because it's not been a thing that I've worried about in so long.
It is what it is. It's that price. I'm not going to be able to change the price, so I'll just pay it and just concentrate on other fun stuff. Yeah,
it's just, I think, it's that, it's being able to have the freedom to do the small stuff, which is the big stuff.
I once, a couple of years ago, probably about 2 years ago, I put in the group some of my wins, and I was like, this happened, and this happened, and this happened. Paris said to me, Nicola, you've found financial freedom. And I thought, fuck yeah, that's what it is. And since then I've known that actually that's what this is. This is financial freedom. And I didn't know until she'd said it, because I knew what I was feeling, but I didn't know the word for it. And when she said it, it all clicked, and I was like, yeah, go me. I've done that. I've got this.
And financial freedom doesn't mean, oh, I'm a millionaire and I've not got no mortgage or anything like that. It doesn't. But financial freedom means being able to do...
I've got enough to live my life
how I want to live it without worrying.
Yeah. I mean, I've not got
it's the dream.
So much money that I can go on amazing Maldives every month.
Yeah.
I wish I bloody could. But for me, for what I need, for the holidays that me and my family need and want, that's enough. Yeah. And I've got the choice to be able to do that. It means that we do usually go without in other areas and sacrifice other things to be able to do that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, that works for me.
You're living your life and your family's life how you want to do it.
We've always travelled quite a lot. So when we were younger, my mum, I'm so lucky, my mum always took us different holidays every year, but we'd not have loads of money the rest of the year. We didn't really have much money. We weren't greedy. We didn't need anything. We didn't go without, but we didn't need anything either. And we'd have these holidays. And that's where we sacrificed elsewhere for the holiday. So now I've got my kids into the same thing. We all love travelling, and we're like, if it was a choice between doing this, I don't know, having heating on or going on holiday for a week, we'd probably choose the holiday. You know, I think it's where you're... Some people don't like going abroad, do they? So it's wherever they're...
Weirdos.
Everyone... Yeah, I know. It's wherever your goals are, isn't it? And so I think financial freedom means something different to everyone.
Everybody, yeah, absolutely. And success means different things to people, because
totally.
People get so caught up in other people's version of success, and I think that's wild, because success to one person could be going to the coast and sitting on the beach all day making necklaces out of seashells, and that could make them the happiest thing. For another person, it could be a 7-star spa or hotel in Dubai. No one's version of success is right or wrong, but it's like what fulfills you the most and makes you happy is different, and that's what we want to be looking for.
I think that's got a lot to do with imposter syndrome as well. We've all been guilty of that, and we've all been guilty of seeing someone else and competition, or that doesn't really bother me now, but it used to. That was probably a challenge. Seeing what someone else think, why am I not where they are? Why we're on different paths. But at the time I was like, well, she's making loads of money from that and I'm not. Why has she got a fully booked diary and I haven't? you know, I think that is something that you have to learn with time as well. Look, not judging your own self and your own path by looking at someone else's. I think that's a big deal.
It's
I think,
huge.
Yeah, that's a big challenge that I faced. But
We've all been there.
now I just stay in my lane.
Yeah.
And when and I still see coaches and that now, and I think, oh God, and then I think, I'll get you. I'll be right there behind you. You know, usually they're like a couple of years ahead. And I think when I look at my success now compared to where I was 5 years ago, I don't think I'd ever have believed it. You know, and if I could have told myself 5 years ago, this is where I'd be today, I wouldn't have believed it. You know, I definitely wouldn't have 10 years ago.
Another 5 years.
I know. And I just said to Emily yesterday, when we did the live event the other day, what was it called? The summit.
Yeah.
When I did the summit the other day, I said to Emily, I'm going to write the email to myself, and we're gonna have to do that because I've never actually done that. Like I shouldn't tell you that, but I haven't actually done that bit.
Well, everything happens at the right time, so
yeah. So I think I need to do that because then I'd love to know in a year's time or whatever what my thoughts were now to where I am.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good exercise. Isn't
do
it?
some scripting as well. You know.
Yeah, scripting
will really help.
Oh yeah, I do a little bit of journaling, but mainly when I'm stressed out.
When you're having a breakdown.
When I'm having like a mad moment. If something bad happens, I'm like, if anyone
good.
read my little journal, oh my God, I'd be sectioned. It is so bad.
It's fine.
But no one can read my writing anyway because my thoughts are so fast. My writing's like a doctor's. It's like,
yeah.
No one can read it.
I use journaling for when I'm feeling good, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I'm feeling frustrated. It's a great tool.
I've only ever used it as a coping strategy, but I think maybe
try them.
Yeah, I think
when you
maybe
get
I
up in the morning, or your family don't want to talk to you, have a little journal, like a positive journal,
Yeah.
like.
So I do like on a morning. So one of my favourite things to do, and I tell all my students and stuff to do this as well, is choose 3 words. So I choose 3 words, and that's how I set my intention for the day. So I've got like the law of attraction journal, and it does say like today's goals, but I just write the 3 words in it. So I'll do like happy, bubbly, and I don't know,
ambitious or something.
Yeah, or you know, calm. If I've got like a really stressful client coming in or something, stay calm. But yeah, and then that's how it sort of sets my tone for the day. So I do like to do that in the morning when I get up.
Okay, I love that. So in fact, before we go into what are some of your goals, what advice would you give to somebody who is pretty much just starting out in the industry, and we'll say hair, so they're going to start out, they want to start doing hair extensions, they've got a load of fear, a load of imposter syndrome going off, they're worried that they might not get enough clients. Like, what advice would you give to that person to help them to get started?
Well, let's say if it was hair extensions, because that's really all I know. I don't know any other beauty treatments. It's just goes over my head. But if we do hair extensions, if someone was just starting, I'd be like, stick to one thing and be a master of that. What do they say? Jack of all trades, master of none. And I don't want to do. That's not what we want. You need to niche down. You need to focus on one thing, and then you can add to it later.
So one method, you would say.
So I'd
like
do one method.
Whatever.
So I do what I do with my hair extension coach. I do a few different things. So I do one method courses, but I also do like a career launch package where I launch careers from. This is my new. This is what I've been working on. It took me about 1.5 years to come up with this, but
good.
I'm there. But this is so that it's step by step. So the first step is sort of learning the method. I do the 3 most popular methods in the one package, and then we start with one, then we do another one, and then we do another one. We do business training, as in like hair extension business training, where we start from this is what you should be doing, this is the customer services. We go step by step. It's not just like wham, there's a training course, give it to
Off you go.
Yeah, because I think that's overwhelming. And sometimes if you look at a training course, or if you look at too much all the time, you're like, I want to be like she is, I want to do this, I want to do that. It's just too much. Focus on one thing and master that first, and then just keep educating yourself all the time. It's all about education.
And do you think
having the right we do like a VIP support. I was about to say having the right VIP support, but just having the right support and finding communities on Facebook and things like that can be there for you, and you can talk like a bit like the BG or whatever. Like there's different ones for different things. But yeah, I think having that is a big deal.
And I also think it's good to be in them communities, the positive ones, because God, there are some horrific ones online. Like usually the big, massive free support. I was in a free support group for aesthetics.
Sometimes a bit
horrific.
Yeah, some of them are. Yeah, I think
why
some
I
of them
have
are.
group rules in the BGA. Like there are rules in this group, and
there's some like quite toxic ones.
Yeah, but getting a positive one, because not only is
I wouldn't even comment on a toxic one. I would just be like,
just leave. Yeah, leave the group. But being in them positive groups, sometimes it also really inspires you because you see people doing what it is you want to do.
Yeah.
And if you can learn to stop seeing that as a, oh my God, they're doing it, so there's not enough for me, and start seeing that as a, well, if it's possible for her, it's possible for me, then you really can, just having that access to that makes you so
and I think
inspired.
It's not always you have to copy off someone, but you can take inspiration from them. So with the mesh integration and everything, I used what I knew and what I'd learned from different providers and different people, and I also looked at what other people were doing, and then I created my own way of doing it that worked for me and that was right for I've got like a lot of morals and integrity, and some of the ways that I was learning and even in my training courses that I didn't agree with. So you have to sort of think outside the box, and you can take inspiration from different people and create something that works for you and that's going to work for your client, because then you can attract the right people that are going to be the perfect client for you, and you're going to work together and they're going to keep coming back because you've got something that the girl down the road who you thought was doing even better, they don't offer. You were offering something that they don't, and I think
it's
having
unique.
that, definitely, like, you can take inspiration from people. You don't have to copy them.
Yeah.
Just do your own thing.
Yeah, please don't copy and paste people.
No.
I once had someone copy and paste all of my... So she started... She was in the members club, then she became a coach, but she copy and pasted all my
Everything.
captions. Can you remember?
No, I don't know.
So she copy and pasted all my captions and just...
Oh, God.
Posted like selfies with literally word for word my post, and I was like, honestly, I weren't asked because I know that will never work. Like, and I've done it myself. No, not to that extremes, but I have learnt lessons myself where I've been like, oh, they look like they're doing well, I'll do what they're doing. Actually, it's not authentic. It's not unique.
No, it's
so
not.
go and do what they're doing.
You can't keep that up.
No,
because you don't.
how
It's
can
not
you?
your words.
No,
So,
exactly.
yeah,
Mate, it's literally copied and pasted.
Yeah, I've had
Literally.
quite a few people doing that in my area, and people that do copy or try, but I'm one step ahead of them because they're not me.
For sure. Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's what you need to
that
focus
used to bother
on.
me as well. People that used to copy everything I do, or they'd try and ask me because only because they wanted to do it themselves. And now I'm just like, if you want to join my training course,
Yeah.
then I'll tell you, no gatekeeping there.
100%.
But I always know that no one can be me because there's no one that I know that has got the same brain as me. I know that for sure because mine bloody doesn't stop. So
Exactly. What are your plans then, Nikki? What can we expect to see from you over the next couple of years? What's your goals?
The salon, I want to expand. So I just want to move into a bigger salon with more rooms.
Okay.
I want a bit more of a private area for Emily and for my hair loss clients as well. I mean, we do like section it all off and that's fine, but I think for my hair loss clients, it'd be nice to have sort of a clinic room where I can do that for some of them, because some of them like the hustle and bustle of the... but yeah, I think something like that, a bigger salon, probably in the same area. But I've started to put money away to save for that now. I'm being prepared for that because I'm one of them people... I'm not going to be like desperate for it. When I see it, I'll be like, I want that one, and let's do it. I'll pay this now. Let's do it. I work better like that than I do think like stressing about it and looking for the perfect thing. When I see it, I'll know that's because I'm all right at the minute. So that's one thing. So I'll move my salon. The hair extension coach, I'm working to launch our money. I'm so excited to get everything out there that I've got available now. But I'm also going to do hair loss systems and stuff in-person courses in the salon. But I also want to travel around the UK. Never know, I might be international for that as well. But I'd like to do like locations for the training. Personally, I've got loads of different holiday destinations on my board. So... that'll be, it's mainly, my life's mainly going on holidays and going to work. But that's my goals, I've got the financial goals and stuff as well, which are just going to make, I know for a fact I'll do them. But my big goals are probably holidays and stuff.
Yeah, I love that. If for somebody watching or listening to this now that's like, I want to train in hair extensions and I want you to teach me, where can they find out more about you and your services?
Well, I'd say you've made the right choice. No, but you can find me on thehairextensioncoach.co.uk. So the website, the new website is going to probably updated before when this...
I have no idea when this is in the queue.
I have no idea. Check it out anyway.
We'll link everything in the show notes and the description and the YouTube and everything anyway. So just literally click on the comments and you'll see
so I'm on all social medias anyway. So I'm like Instagram, Facebook. It's just the hair extension coach. And then if in-person training, I do in the salon in Newcastle. But I've also got the salon is Blondie Locks in Newcastle as well.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you
on
for
the
having me.
podcast.
I've
You've been an
loved
amazing
it.
guest. You've
Thank
given
you.
lots of value.
Thank you.
And I've no doubt that you're going to smash your business goals. And I can't wait to see you at the live event in October.
I can't wait. I've actually got my hotel booked. I'm all ready. Me and the girls, we've been chatting on the group chat. We're all going out again the night before.
I love it. I'm just like,
I know.
literally, you're all crazy. I mean, I wish I could come out with you the night before, but I have a job to do.
I mean,
so.
I skipped the funeral thing. I went home. I went home just before they went to the pub because I'm not a big drinker and I wouldn't drink before an event anyway because I'm like you. I'm like
Yeah,
you
you can't, yeah.
No, so I skipped it and I was like, I went out, had a couple of drinks and then I went back to the hotel room and then we got back the next day and they were like, hey, do you know what? We went to a funeral. I was like, what?
Only my members would
Yeah.
gate crash a wake.
Yeah.
They're like, we ended up at someone's wake. I was like,
Yeah.
oh
They were
my
wild
God.
bunch, they were wild bunch, but you
Yeah,
know what?
they
It's
were.
so lovely.
It's
I think
fun.
a lot of people are saying, I'm brand new. I don't know anyone, but honestly, I was like that like years ago when I first went. And now, even if I wasn't going to like see anyone, I'm still traveling down on my own. You just go and you just talk to the people that are next to you. It's just that's just the way it is. There's no awkwardness.
No, I'm glad that you feel that way. I
Yeah,
love doing the events,
absolutely.
and I wasn't going to do one this year, and then I couldn't fucking help myself.
I'm glad you
could I?
did. I'm glad
I
you
know.
did.
I'm excited for it
Retreat
now.
next though.
Yes, I know. I'm on it. Thank you so much for joining us,
welcome.
Nicola.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for everyone watching and listening. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and leave me a review. You can click on the links in the show notes to follow me on social media, learn more about the guests, and you can also join me on any challenges or masterclasses that I'm hosting that will help you grow your hair, beauty, or aesthetics business.